Hi, gang. It's Karen. And tonight is probably going to be a short one. It depends. Let's get going. It's on, let me see my notes. Finding your true path. Um, it's a very, very important subject because most of us are living lives that are lies. We are fulfilling everyone else's expectations of us. My dad wanted me to be married. My mom wanted me to be married also and have grandkids. And so I pursued that. And I just didn't want to get married until, of course, I met my husband. But I mean, they started when I was 13 telling me that they wanted me married so that I wouldn't have to worry about taking care of myself. Oh my. And this was in the 80s. My mom and dad were real old fashioned. And personally, you know, I didn't know what I wanted. So I followed their dictates and I got married. We were first married when I was barely 17, I think. Yeah, real young, real young. And he was 25, 25, much older than me. At that time, it seemed much older than me. And mom and dad approved of the marriage because he was stable. They didn't know all the details of Dennis. And, but, oh well. So I got married and then I got divorced. And then I got married to the same man. And then I got divorced. And it spanned several years. And I worked in an office in several different professions, all in the areas of support, such as bookkeeping and customer service. And I had some desires, but I didn't know how I was going to play those out. I did play, hi Val, I did play part of it out in my relationship with Dennis. And, um, and that was a big part of who I am still. But I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with my life until the second divorce and all that I went through and the trauma that I experienced. And I thought to myself, this is a bunch of bullshit. Women, especially, should not have to go through this. And I want to know, I truly said this, I want to know why I had this happen to myself in my life. And by that time, I was studying Neville Goddard. And I was studying a lot of other people similar to him, such as Florence Scovel Shinn. I was looking into Dyer. I was doing some Abraham Hicks. I had a strong palate, but I gravitated towards Neville Goddard because I saw within myself and other people praised me that I could pull bunnies out of the hat when I was sufficiently motivated. But I needed to figure out a way where, hi, Danette, honey, where I could stop worrying about the world and other people. Hi, Kelly, and start producing results in my life. And that's when I rebelled against my ex's idea of what I should be when I grew up. And I said, no, I don't want to do what you want me to do. And there were a whole bunch of other people in my life too, telling me what to do. And I got so angry one day when I was at an adopted mother's house that I kicked in the water cooler. And she had never seen me that mad. And I told her straight out, I am tired of people telling me how to run my life. I'm going to start running it according to me. And I did. I started finding out what I wanted. First, I moved away from where I was living. I was living in Southern California at the time. I moved to Northern California on a whim. I also knew somebody in politics up there. And so I stayed with him briefly and then got out on my own. And I just started thinking to myself, where is it that my interest lie? And it was heavy into psychology, heavy into actually straight out of the chute. It was into quantum physics and the way you know, parallel universes. Um, by the way, you just saw one of the dogs jump up on the couch and she's running around in the back. I have no idea what's going on with her tonight. Maggie, what's going on? She's trying to find herself. God bless her. So I knew they'd want to be in this live tonight. And Abby's down here wondering what was going on. Okay, so as we mature, we're going to get an indication of what we want to do with ourselves. And at first, we are perhaps pushed into having children, being married, having a house to take care of, all of this wifey mother stuff. And whether we want to or not, we're pushed into it. My mom was pushed into it. She never wanted to be a mother. She was a horrible mother. She really was. Um, and I had an indication I didn't want to be a mother. And so I never really gave birth. And that was one thing that I really hold fast to. I'm really happy that I did not have a child. So, you've got to ask yourself, what do you want to do? And do not, hi Janet, do not be ashamed of the answer. Who are you? You've got to start fessing up about what you desire, what you want, what you don't want. Some people are confused about their sexuality, and support people who are trying to figure that out. Thank God society is a little bit more open than when I was being raised. I had no questions on my sexuality, and no one in my family did either. But I've had friends throughout the years that struggled with it, and they did come out. And I'm very comfortable around gays and lesbians and transsexuals, and it doesn't matter to me. Um, and so, get clear on yourself. Talk to someone who you trust as a confidant and ask them for their time and their ear. When it comes to the career choice, and when it comes to relationship choice, by the way, I'm really a hard ass about this. Don't get into a relationship just because you think you have to be in a relationship. Okay? I was in a relationship from the age, I had my first boyfriend when I was 5. And I continued to have boyfriends. And when I moved here in Boise, I was asked out 13 times. And I went out in 1 week. And I went out with 6 and I slept with 4. That's who I was 35 years ago. And it took me, being divorced a second time, I really questioned what I wanted to do with relationships. I chose to stay out of a relationship until I got my shit together in my own life, where I knew what I wanted for myself in my own life, what my purpose was as Karen Sinclair. And for the past 40 years, I have suspected it was in some kind of coaching. And 20 years ago, I started coaching off and on, using mostly Neville Goddard and positive thinking in affirmations and all of that. And I was successful each time, but only to an extent. Now I'm I'm really successful and I love what I do. But it took a long time to take all the weeds out and to cultivate who I am. And I'm still doing it. Okay. I've got a book coming soon if I get my butt in gear and write it. And I've got, I do so much in my career and I love every bit of it. And I'm going to make a recommendation. Whatever you do, be it in a relationship or any other choices in your life, a career, a job, make sure that you are doing it to serve someone, not in the sense of sacrifice, but why are you wanting to do what you want to do? If it's just to be wealthy, well, okay, fine, okay, um, and more power to you, okay. For me and the people who I deal with, everything has to boil down to serving humanity as a whole because there is no real satisfaction by just serving self. I can't live like that. I can't just get a job at Kmart or Walmart and bring in a paycheck and say and call it good. I just can't. When I was a young girl, I would, but I was not turned on to a more um, worthwhile endeavor, and that is serving other people primarily. And then, even that, you're going to find your way. Some people truly are um, bent towards being a softer spoken. I tried that way. I really did. And it doesn't suit me. Now, I have a way of using my voice when I want to that is incredibly calming. And I guess I still do it from time to time. When I am wanting to talk to somebody sincerely, I use that. But I'm more of an ass kicker, and that is something that just, it just shocked me. You are cutting out, not sure if it's just me. Um, Janet, Kelly, and Valerie, am I cutting out on your end? Okay. Hopefully, Jeanette, when you listen to the playback, it's not going to cut out, honey. Okay. Well, Janet, I'm sorry. I don't know if it's the internet connection. Hopefully, on the replay, it won't. Who else is saying something? Valerie. Okay, guys, it could be my internet connection because I am at Karen and Chris's house, and they use a service that is a pain in the neck. So let me do this. Let me get to the bottom line, and I can do this over again at a future time. I'm okay now? Okay, thank you, Val. Okay, maybe I need to be a little bit more forceful, which I love to do anyhow. Okay, my way of interacting with other people is direct. I will look you in the eyes and I will see through whatever you're saying and I will cut the crap and I will tell you when you're full of bullshit or not. Because time's a wasting, guys. How many centuries are you going to continue fooling around with yourself and with making problems and resolving them? Do you think that law of assumption is just simply about um, solving problems? Hell no. We make the problems. We imagine the problems and imagine the solution. There's a higher calling with LOA, and that is to live a life free of problems so that you can concentrate on higher thought. And that's where I got into A Course in Miracles. And to me, there is no better path. And I discuss it openly on the boards and also in my coaching classes. So, but truth is truth. And you've got to raise yourself above the battleground. The battleground is all the problems. So part of the problem is figuring out why you're here. You are here to be an emissary for people to wake up. That's the top-notch answer. And how you do that is a choice. You can be a gardener, you can be a house cleaner. Whatever you enjoy doing, do it. Okay. You can be a pet sitter, you can be a nanny, you can go into the medical field. Just because you wash toilets for a living does not mean it is anything worse than being a doctor. We are all needed. All of us are needed. So as soon as you take care of the basic needs in your life, and please make sure you're doing that. Don't rely on other people. Okay. Don't look for a relationship just so that he can pay the bills. Please don't. Because when he leaves you, one way or the other, you're going to be shit out of luck, and you're going to, hunt for somebody else, or you're going to have to fend for yourself, be on welfare, whatever. I am totally supportive of women fending for themselves because we are totally capable. That's one of my strong messages. So figure out what you want to do, what you enjoy doing. Make a list of all the things that you want to do to be a part of society, and in exchange, get a living wage. You may have to work more than one job. I've done that several times. In fact, I have 3 businesses right now. So that's, you handle the basics. And then you use Neville and any spiritual path that you want to use to get yourself above the battleground of always having a problem that you need to resolve. I'm tired of that. I really am. Do I still do it from time to time? Yeah, I do. I've been doing it for eons. Okay. It's kind of like an addiction, and it's an avoidance for me. And once you get your basic needs met, what higher need, what higher calling? How do you want to give love to other people? It could be that you're already doing it. By being a nanny, you're loving the children. Wonderful. If you want to get married and give love to a man, have your own family, please do so. The basic message tonight is do what you want to do. If you need to figure that out, then take some time, figure it out. You are the operant power in your life. You decide. And once you decide, put everything in back of it and do all of it. Some of us have multi-level desires. And so I am always seeking to expand my coaching in a different way so that I can serve a different part of society. That's okay. You can be really busy. You can be a working woman, have a family and a husband, and he can get his ass in gear and help you with everything. Okay. Don't marry someone who just wants you to do all the work. Screw that. He needs to help you. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you for joining me, guys. And Danette, I'm sorry that I wasn't speaking clearly enough. And I hope that the majority of this comes out for everybody watching it. Good night, everyone. See you on Wednesday.